Sure.
And somebody
Small
once
company.
piled a bunch on top of their head.
Yeah. I'm going to do it all right now. So one of the things we're thinking about, I think, Mark, you started bringing this up, making some clear lines. What is really the job of an engineering manager in like relation to a scrum master? And the same thing we should be talking about, what is the relationship of an engineering manager to the developing team, particularly in this area of task assignment and task accountability? Because this is where one I see kind of getting smudged a little bit, because I have developers tell me, and some of my clients, that my engineering manager tells me what I'm working on. And maybe not the individual task, but at least what team I'm working on and how much I should pay attention to that team versus some other team. And this is one that's getting a little kind of dicey here, because by the rules that we're supposed to be following in Agile, that the team decides its tasks and how to best implement the task and how to manage those tasks. And it doesn't fall to an outside party. Yet we hear over and over again that engineering managers still have this ability to go and say, well, I really need you working on this thing over here. Right. So ignore the team for a little bit and go work on this one. I think that's where we're getting into some trouble. I think the engineering managers need to, as Jenny said, really allow the work to flow through the product owners. These are the things that we need to be working on. And if they need some team members' time to do something else, we either clock that out as unplanned work. It's not part of the plan. It's unplanned work. And It's actually seen as something we need to manage and try to eliminate. The Scrum Master can start yelling and saying, hey, we had a plan and you put a bunch of unplanned work into our sprint. Thank you very much. But here's how we're going to stop that. Or they need to come up and make it part of the plan by putting it as part of the work through the PO.
Definitely have seen the cases where there is conflict between the engineering managers and the product owners. And especially if there's something like, customer related issues and somebody higher in the organization jumps and starts going to the engineering manager, then the engineering manager is like trying to pull people off the scrum team, and we need to talk about, wait, if you're going to want the teams to do work, that needs to flow through the product owner channel. And I think, as Earl was saying, just kind of setting down some of the rules of the road, right? Okay, if you want to ask a team for work, that needs to go through this channel over here. In Scrum, it would flow through the product owners. If you were in Kanban, maybe it has a different flow. So I think that I have definitely seen that.
One of the things I've run into a couple places now is I'm 95% on the Scrum team, and I'm 5% to my engineering manager to whatever the heck they want me to do.
Right.
Because they're trying out Scrum, or they're not, the whole organization's not doing Agile. And so they still have their home team, as it were. And so a certain percentage of their time's on the home team, and the percentage of time, and a big chunk of time, but a percentage of time is to the Agile team. And so as the Scrum Masters work those, we sort of say, okay, what is our full-time equivalent? If this is part of your 5% time, I need you to manage that as an individual team member. If it's getting too big, let me know as a Scrum Master. Then I can go yell at your manager saying you're taking too much time. Right? But then of that 5%, you're free to manage it however you want. It can get kind of messy when the engineering managers and the people are matrix to say, yes, you can have some of their time, but now we're gonna block that time, because we expect for our effective Agile team that will get this much of their time, and that will be reflected in our velocity. It could potentially be higher, but you're only giving us X percentage of these people's time.
And I would be worried that 5% was probably actually more like 20% of somebody's time. So I would actually want to ask that person to start tracking so that we could make a reasonable assumption when we went into things like sprint planning, right? They say 5, it's really 20. Let's model it at 20, that you're 80% on the team, not 95% on the team.
I encourage the Scrum Masters and the teams to sort of collect, hey, when I'm not working on the team, throw a task on there that was part of the planned off teamwork or totally unplanned work. And that way we can then model it and say, this is why our velocity is the way it is. The other one, I remember going into a company that was just adopting Agile for the first time, and